Apart from Protestantism, Eastern and Western Christianity espouse the Dharmic belief in personal perfection in holiness as a prerequisite for entry into the kingdom of heaven, i.e., true union with God. Naturally, this contradicts and wholly undermines belief in a salvation rooted in forensic categories, which requires the incarnation of God as the second member of the Holy Trinity to perform mediatorial acts that stand in for personal holiness, making us, quote unquote, acceptable to the Father. The undermining takes place as represented by two doctrines: that of purgatory in the West and toll houses in the East. These eschatologies do not simply exist to support a general view of progress or sanctification. They demand the extinguishment of all sin and sinful attachment as the very means toward and essence of theosis, or divine union. One does not go about entering heaven in order to complete one's purification. Purification is the realization of that union. That being the case, it is both unnecessary and contradictory to posit or demand that one be received by God into a special and unique standing forensically, one that separates him out from the masses of those who are being condemned, or who at least await further enlightenment in order to be accepted into the community of quote unquote true believers. If one attempts to argue for the impossibility of realizing union with God and perfect holiness apart from a right understanding of Christ, i.e., apart from the Christian understanding of his identity and the nature of his work laid down by Christian dogma, then he has failed to know the process or science of hesychastic mystical contemplation and how that leads to the union of the soul with God. It also demotes passionlessness or holiness to something that simply follows from salvation, in which case we are back to salvation as forensic justification, and one wonders why passionlessness should be thought the very prerequisite to and essence of union, or the eschatological fulfillment of man's telos, his eternal state. The imposition of a divine mediator, in a forensic sense, obstructs the direct path to God by the soul, as embodied in mysticism, which is why the science can never be properly known or understood in a Christian context, where exoteric dogmas function to obscure the implications of that science and prevent the masses of souls from its pursuit by presenting a picture of it as something primarily for people who have embraced asceticism as a unique vocation rather than as a natural way of life. The world can be enjoyed in a detached or unattached manner without being rejected. This is true asceticism. But that is a matter for another time. One must know then that mysticism is to the soul what lovemaking is between two bodies. It is a direct, unmediated union and communion between the soul and God. It is a kind of ecstatic eroticism between God and the devotee, as above, so below. This is a far superior way of understanding the Song of Solomon, misapplied grossly by Paul in Ephesians 5, where he views the sexual union between a man and a woman as symbolic of a corporate, i.e. forensic reality, indicating a covenantal arrangement between the community of those who embrace certain exoteric doctrines and the one whom they claim to incarnate that doctrinal reality, i.e. Jesus Christ. We will return to this theme in the future as well. Of course, no series of talks like this would be complete after making such claims without a deep philosophical critique of the Christian doctrine of the Trinity, the virgin birth, the hypostatic union, and forensic atonement. We will also discuss the nature of the Old and New Testaments and how they embody an evolution or development of thought, as opposed to being the unfolding in time of timeless truth.